Hey, hi everyone, welcome back to Automation eLearn. I'm your friend Suresh Dubey, and in this video we are going to discuss one more important conceptual interview question, that is, can a class name and file name be different in Java? Class name equal to file name. So guys, this is what we get to read if you refer any blogs or articles, even in books as well. Everywhere it is written like class name should be matched with the file name in Java. But let me tell you, this is not 100% accurate. This is a kind of myth, and in this video we are going to explore this, how we can have a file name different from class name in Java. So to understand this, we need to get familiar with few concepts in Java. So these are the topics that we are going to discuss today. We will discuss access modifiers which are applicable at the top level. Top level means class, interface, enums, etc. We are also going to understand what we compile and what we run. So we have two things, one is the file and another one is a class. So we need to understand what exactly we compile file or class, and what exactly we run a file or a class. So we are going to discuss that, and at the end I'll let you know what is the best practice. Either we should have file name equal to class name, or we should not have file name equal to class name. So I'll be talking about that at the end. So let's jump to Eclipse workspace and we'll try to understand this. Okay, so I have one sample project that is a test, and I have one sample package. So let me create one class over here. I can give my class, and let's take a main method. Let's have some print statement over here. Okay, so here when we create a new class, by default the class name and the file name will be same, right? And it has a public access modifier, and this is a class. This is by default structure we get when we create a new class. Let's run it once to ensure that it is working fine. Okay, we are getting a print statement over here. Now let me try to rename the class name. So maybe I can say this utils, but we have a problem here. So we are getting a compile time error saying public type util must be defined in its own file. It means util is the class name which is of public type. It should be defined inside a file with the name utils only. But here we have a mismatch between class name and the file name. So this error is trying to highlight that, okay, you have a file name which is not equal to class name, and let's rectify it. And here we have suggestions as well. Either you can rename your file name or you can rename your class name to make it equal. Then how we can have a file name different than class name? So let me talk about access modifier concept over here. So at the top level, so top level means class, interface or enums. At the top level we have only two access modifiers which are applicable. One is the public and another one is a default, which is also called no modifier. No modifier. I have already explained all the access modifiers applicable at the top level and at the member level. So there we had a detailed discussion. I have given a link in the description. You can refer that to understand more in detail. So these are the two access modifiers which are applicable at the top level. Here at the class level, if my type means class, if my class is having access modifier as a public, then we will get this error like file name and class name should be equal. But if I'll remove this public, once I remove this, then default access modifier will be applicable. And with the default access modifier, now we are not getting any error. So now at least we are not getting any compile time error. Let's try to run this program and verify whether we are getting this as output or not. Okay, seems like it is not working. So there is an error, could not find or load main class sample my class. So what it's expecting is, it is looking for a class name with the name my class inside sample. So it is looking for something like this, class my class. So inside sample package, it is looking for class with the name my class like this. But we don't have any such thing, right? In this file we have renamed my class to utils, and we removed public access modifier from here. So now my class is no more present in this file inside my sample package. So what we can do here is, we need to update few configuration just to tell that okay, my file name is this, but my class name is utils, which is different from file name. So we have to modify configuration. But before that, let me explain you a few things. Like we perform two operations, like we compile and then we run. So what exactly we compile and what exactly we run? So we have two things. One is a file name and another one is a class name. So when we compile file. We do not compile class. So we will compile my class.java because this is the name of the file. So we compile file, and when we run a particular class. So here we will not run my class, we will run utils. So this is the difference when we say we compile and we run. In case your file name and class name is same, you don't need to bother much. But if it is different, then we need to ensure like, okay, we are compiling our file name, but when we are running, we are choosing our class name to run. So in our case, my class name is utils. To update the configuration, go to run as and run configuration. So here if you notice, my file name is my class, project is a test. Okay, I am under test project, and this is the main class which is saying sample.myClass. So when I run this program normally, it is looking for class with the name my class. It is looking for the class, not for the file, because when we run a particular class. So that's why it is looking for a class with the name my class, but it is not available. That's why we are getting could not find or load main class sample.myClass. So just because I have updated, I have renamed my class to utils, so I need to give here utils, so that when I run, it will refer to utils class. It will not refer to my class, right? So we can apply and we can run. So this time we are getting our proper output. So it means we can have our file name and class name different, but we have to ensure this concept, like what we compile and what we run. Anyways, if my class name and file name is same, then also this concept applies, but we don't need to bother because both are same. In case file name and class name are not same, then we need to change the configuration so that we can adopt this concept. Otherwise my program will not run. Same thing we can do for interface and enums as well. So let me show that. So let's have an interface with the name my interface, for example, and here also it will be created with the public modifier. So if I'll rename it to, for example, 1, then we are getting a same error, like public type must be defined in its own file. So I have to remove public access modifier to apply default modifier. And let's have one abstract method over here, so that we can override same thing and we can ensure like, okay, it is working fine. And let's have one enum. My enum. If we'll try to rename this, then we will get the same error, and for that purpose we have to remove public so that default can apply over here. And let's have some enum value 1 and 2, for example. Okay, so I have my interface where interface file name and actual interface name is different. I have enum where enum file name and actual enum name is different. Okay, and we are not getting any compile time error because we have removed public access modifier. So by default access modifier is applicable. Let's make a use of these two. Okay, so I can implement my interface implements my interface. Okay, so we are getting an error. My interface cannot be resolved to a type. Okay, so same concept, guys. We have to keep this concept in mind. Like I'm trying to implement my interface, but if you notice, what is the name of the interface? Interface name is my interface 1, and the file name is my interface. So if I'll try to implement my interface, it means I'm referring to file name. I'm not actually referring to the interface name, right? So we have to make it my interface 1, and it will ask me to implement the method. Okay, let's have some print statement. And have enum, so let's make use of that too. So my enum dot 1, because I have defined enum 1 here, right? So but here as well we are getting the same error. My enum cannot be resolved because we have to refer to the actual enum. So here name of the enum is my enum 1. So we have to ensure that we are using my enum 1 and dot 1. So now it is recognizing. And also let's call some method. So I can create object of my utils sum. Okay, so we are printing one statement which belongs to this class only, calling some method which is overridden from the interface, and we are making use of enum. So let's try to run this program and see what is the output. So go to run configuration. Again, we don't need to update any configuration because we updated it already, and just run. Okay, so we are getting an output. This is my class, which is basically from the main method, and then it is printing 1, which is calling enum, and then it's calling some method, and some method is printing this is from interface 1, this is from interface 1. So in all the three types, class, interface and enums, we have different file name compared to the type. So type means class, interface, enum. So here class name is different from the file name. Here interface name is different from the interface file name. Enum name is different from the enum file name. And we are not getting any compile time error, we are not getting any runtime error. We are able to run our program successfully. We just need to ensure that while referring, we have to refer the actual class name, actual interface name, actual enum name. So here I am referring my enum 1, which is the name of the enum, right? Here I am implementing my interface 1, which is actual name of the interface. All the reference should be done on the actual name of the type. References cannot be done on file name. So I hope you guys are clear with these concepts, and we understood what are the access modifier applicable at the top level. Top level means class, enum, interfaces. We saw all the three examples, and we understood what we compile and what we run. And let's talk about the best practice that we should follow. Okay, so we understood like we can have a file name and class name differently. But should we implement such things while working on real projects, while working on development, or if you are working on any automation framework? Should we implement it like this? No, we should not do that. This is not a good coding practice, because if we will do so, then we are not getting any compile time error or we are not getting any runtime error. But it is very difficult to manage. It is very difficult to understand. Here my file is saying like, okay, this is my class.java. But what is the actual name of the class? That is utils. We should keep file name and type name similar so that we can manage our files properly, and it will be easy for everybody to understand and to refer. So having a different name is not a good coding practice, but that is a conceptual question that you may face in the interview because it revolves around few concepts that we discussed. So we do not implement actually such concepts while working on real projects, but these are the questions which force you to think about it, whether it is something which is possible or not. So if you are clear with the concepts, then you can answer such questions easily. You can also add on the thing like, okay, though it is possible, but that is not a good coding practice. And I hope you guys are clear with the today's topic and all the concepts that we discussed. Please let me know in case of any question or any doubt. And guys, if you like the content that I'm sharing on this channel, please do subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. Thank you for running this one. Thank you.